Hello, this is Jamie from Shamrock Girl World, and today I'm going to show you how I continued to grow Cherimoya trees from seed. This is a continuation of my video, How to Grow Cherimoyas from Seed, where I started Cherimoyas on August 21st, 2018. In this video, we're going to see the Cherimoyas grow through spring and fall 2019. We'll start at March 23rd, 2019, which is where we left off from the previous video. At this point, the Cherimoyas are currently 7 months old. Today, I transplanted the Cherimoyas in new containers. They were in a single container together for several months, and they needed their own room to grow. I separated them into small containers. They'll soon be outside of the temporary greenhouse. I wanted to make sure that they were adjusted in their new containers before going outside. 2 days later, I planted more Cherimoya seeds in a small takeout tray. I started them in an indoor greenhouse that I had in my apartment. I wanted to make sure that they were watered and had ample heat to germinate. On March 31st, the transplanted Cherimoyas finally adjusted in their greenhouse after about 8 days. Then on April 29th, the March Cherimoyas are sprouting after 1 month in the indoor greenhouse. For some reason, I don't have any photos or videos of the Cherimoyas from April through June, but unfortunately, some of the older Cherimoya seedlings died while in the greenhouse. The drop cloth greenhouse had a hole in it due to it being dry rotted from heavy rain in April. I didn't take all the plants out of there, including the Cherimoyas. Some of the seedlings were in direct sunlight and were also in the hot greenhouse. I was able to recover a few of them, but most of them died. Here, on June 2nd, the March Cherimoyas are over 2 months old. On June 15th, this is the first time in a long time where I take a look at the older Cherimoyas and they're coming back. They're now 9.5 months old. They've been in partial sun while they've recovered, and I put new soil in their containers 2 weeks prior. One of the Cherimoya containers is in a 5-gallon bucket that has water at the bottom. They're all still small, but they're coming back. I also take a quick look at the March Cherimoyas. They've been sitting under a tree in the shade, and they're looking really good. On June 29th, the 2 sets of Cherimoyas are together in their new spot. I made a plant station where the seedlings will get partial shade through most of the day and a brief period of evening sun. The older Cherimoyas are now 10 months old, and the March Cherimoyas are 3 months old. On July 14th, I take a quick look at the Cherimoyas after a few weeks in their new location. The 3.5-month-old March Cherimoyas are growing in partial shade. I'm also thinking about transplanting them out of their container. The oldest Cherimoyas are coming back. They're now 10.5 months old, and more leaves are growing in after 1 month. On July 22nd, I decided to transplant the March Cherimoyas. They're almost 4 months old and could use more room. I divided them into 3 different containers. I spaced them out evenly in the containers. They had very active roots in these shallow trays. I put them back in partial shade for them to adjust. On August 31st, I take a quick look at the oldest Cherimoyas that are now 1 year old. They may be smaller than what they should be, but they grew a lot over the summer. The March Cherimoyas are looking good as well. All the plants are in partial shade. They get afternoon and evening sun and are shaded from the intense sunlight. On September 28th, I take a better look at the 1-year-old Cherimoyas. They grew a lot over the past month. Actually, the month of September was hotter than the month of July. So now the seedlings have large leaves and are growing tall. I noticed that they had felt-like leaves. I was really surprised by how big they grew. Next, I take a quick look at the March Cherimoyas that are now 6 months old. They too have larger leaves compared to last month, and they were transplanted 2 months ago. So I fast forward to the end of October. At this point, winter weather has finally come into central Texas. We've had several cold fronts and a few nights in the upper 30s. The Cherimoyas were not seriously affected by the cold weather, but other tropical fruit seedlings were affected. As you can see, Some of the Cherimoyas had some frost damage from the previous night, but they are still green and have healthy leaves. So today, I finally got my winter greenhouse. Unlike last winter, where I made a greenhouse from PVC pipes and drop cloths, I decided to put forth some money to get a really stable greenhouse. Now that I got it assembled, all plants are going into the greenhouse. Here, I take a look at the Cherimoyas now that they're safely inside. It's great timing because a hard freeze happened several nights later. I'm happy that all my plants will be protected from winter weather. On November 9th, I take a look at the now 1 year, 2.5-month-old Cherimoyas. I did some rearranging in the greenhouse, and I wanted to get another good look at the older Cherimoyas. They grew a lot over the past few months, and they and the other plants have adjusted well for their first week in the greenhouse. They still have some frost damage, but the plant is still alive and growing. I also take a look at the now 7-month-old March Cherimoyas. They have full exposure to the heat lamps and shop light. I can't wait to see how all of the Cherimoyas will grow through the winter. The Cherimoya plants grew a lot over the year. The oldest ones had the most growth in late summer and early fall. The March Cherimoyas had uninterrupted growth through the spring, summer, and fall. The Cherimoya seedlings grew in partial shade throughout most of the summer. Although there are not many of the older ones left, they grew strong over the months. I plan to have another update video of the Cherimoyas while they grow in the greenhouse from October 2019 to April 2020, when it should be warm enough for them to go back outside. It was awesome to see these young trees grow throughout the year. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below if you have any questions or suggestions about growing Cherimoya trees. And don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel and ring the notification bell for more videos about exotic fruits, growing exotic fruits, gardening, outdoor crafts, and more. Thank you.